There is a lot of talks of the upcoming changes from the National Motor Freight Traffic Association's NMFC system. The first of 3 dockets will be released to modify the NMFC system. These changes are aimed to help simplify NMFC codes for better user experience, allow selection of proper class on first try, and eliminate friction between shippers, brokers, and carriers. The first docket set to release in 2025 is Docket 1, containing changes to all NMFC codes with no handling, no stowability, and no liability issues. But what does this all mean? This series is aimed to help you understand everything. We will discuss what are NMFC codes and freight class, how NMFC affects shippers, the NMFC system, upcoming changes to the system, including Docket 1 2025, how ViewPoint helps shippers with NMFC and freight class, and identifying and fixing reclasses with Freight Audit. What is freight class? Freight class was created in 1936 by the National Motor Freight Traffic Association, NMFTA, to standardize shipping costs, especially for less than truckload, LTL shipments. With LTL, you only pay for the space you use on a truck, but the cost depends on the freight class of your shipment. The basics of freight class are, there are 18 freight classes, ranging from the cheapest of Class 50 to the most expensive of Class 500. The harder a shipment is to transport, the higher its freight class. Lower classes cost less to ship, while higher classes are pricier. What determines freight class? Freight class is based on 4 key factors. 1. Handling. If special equipment is needed, the class increases. 2. Liability. Fragile, valuable, or theft-prone items have a higher class. 3. Storage. Items requiring special conditions have a higher class. 4. Density. The space a shipment takes up versus its weight. Density is a big deal. Many products fall under a density-based subclass system. For example, if a shipment's density is between 12 to 15 pounds per cubic foot, its freight class is 85. Denser items equals lower class. Why does freight class matter? Misclassifying freight can lead to surprise charges and reclassification fees. Knowing freight class helps avoid unexpected costs and ensures accurate shipping rates. Next up, in the next section, we'll dive into NMFC codes and how to determine the freight class for your product. Understanding NMFC codes. In this section, we will introduce the NMFC code system and how it helps classify freight. What is the NMFC code system? To help shippers determine the correct freight class for a commodity, the National Motor Freight Traffic Association, NMFTA, created the National Motor Freight Classification, NMFC, code system. The NMFC code provides the recommended freight class, packaging guidelines, and additional shipping instructions for each commodity. How NMFC codes are managed. In the past, NMFTA published these codes in a physical book for members. Since 2008, they've switched to an online subscription system called Classit for easy access. Each year, NMFTA publishes updates to NMFC codes, including modifications, additions, and deletions, all with specific implementation dates. How NMFC codes work. The database contains thousands of NMFC codes, each designed to match commodities with the right freight class. A product's classification may follow one of these structures. Single class, one fixed class, regardless of density. Modified density scale, a few density thresholds that affect the class. Full-scale density class, classification based entirely on density. In the next section, we'll take a deeper dive into the NMFC code system. How to use NMFC codes for classification. You can find a product's commodity classification in the NMFC database based on its characteristics. Since there can be hundreds of product names for a single commodity, NMFC classifications are based on general commodity descriptions. Each product falls into one of 3 classification types. Single class, one fixed class, regardless of density. Modified density scale, a few density thresholds that affect the class. Full-scale density class, classification based entirely on density. Calculating density. To determine a shipment's density, divide the total weight by its cubic feet. Most shippers use density calculators to simplify this process. Need one? Try our free online density calculator. Let's say we're shipping plastic articles. This product follows a full-scale density class system, meaning its freight class depends on PCF pounds per cubic foot. If our shipment falls at 13 PCF, that puts us at Class 85 under NMFC guidelines. What is NOI? NOI, not otherwise indicated, is a classification used when a product doesn't fit a specific NMFC code. For example, Plastic Articles NOI applies to general plastic products without a detailed classification. However, carriers can reclassify shipments if they believe a more specific code applies, sometimes causing disputes between shippers, carriers, and brokers. Recap: NMFC codes determine freight class and provide shipping guidelines. The NMFTA manages these codes through Classit, an online catalog. There are 3 classification types: single class, modified density scale, and full-scale density class. Understanding these classifications helps shippers avoid costly reclassifications and ensures accurate freight pricing. What's next? Big changes are coming in 2025. In the next section, we'll cover proposed updates aimed at reducing classification disputes. Upcoming changes to the NMFC system. The NMFTA is rolling out 3 major updates to the National Motor Freight Classification (NMFC) system. These changes aim to reduce confusion, simplify classification, and minimize disputes between shippers, carriers, and brokers. Why these changes? Over time, similar products have been added under multiple NMFC codes, making it difficult for shippers to select the correct classification. Currently, NMFC codes use one of 3 structures: single class, modified density class, and 11 subclass density system. To simplify the system, NMFTA is moving toward a 13 subclass density system for most products. The goal is to help shippers classify freight correctly the first time and further standardize the freight class system. What's changing? The first major update is called Docket 2025-1. This change targets NMFC codes for commodities that have no handling, stowability, or liability concerns. In other words, these are products that don't require extra security, special storage, or unique handling procedures. Docket 2025-1 timeline. January 30th, 2025. Docket released for feedback March 3rd, 2025. Public meeting for discussion July 19th, 2025. Official implementation of changes. What's next? After Docket 2025-1, 2 more updates, Docket 2025-2 and Docket 2025-3 are planned, but details are not yet available. Recap: NMFTA is working to simplify and standardize the NMFC system. Docket 2025-1 is the first step, going live in July 2025. More updates are on the way with Docket 2025-2 and Docket 2025-3. In the next section, we will discuss some tools to help you through these changes. Streamlining freight classification with ViewPoint. In our previous section, we covered how shippers determine freight class, a process that can be time-consuming and manual. That's why TLI developed ViewPoint with your time in mind. How ViewPoint simplifies freight classification. Automatically calculates density for line items entered. Lets you search and select saved products by the correct freight class. Reduces the risk of reclasses, ensuring accurate quotes. With upcoming NMFC changes, our team is proactively keeping your item lists updated so you can stay ahead without missing a beat. Save time. Improve accuracy. Deliver freight cost-effectively. Want to update your item list or learn more? Click the link in the video description to connect with our team today. Take control of your freight costs with TLI's Audit service. Unexpected freight charges can add up fast, but TLI's Freight Audit service helps you stay in control. How it works. We review your freight invoices to ensure they match the carrier's quoted rate, identifying discrepancies like reclassifications due to incorrect NMFC codes, miscalibrated scales affecting weight charges, inaccurate shipment dimensions, and other costly errors. Our team analyzes trends, uncovers root causes, and provides actionable insights to help you optimize shipping operations and cut unnecessary costs. Ready to improve your freight program? Click the link below to get started today.